everybody. It's Friday, May the 10th, and for today's episode, I'm at home. This will be, I say home, this house is sold. This will be the last thing that I film here, so it's kind of a bittersweet moment for me. But on today's episode, I'm gonna try to elaborate a little bit more about myself and my history that's kind of led me up to today. I mentioned earlier that I was into extreme sports, and now that we're several episodes in, you can actually see kind of a little bit of what I like to do. There's still a lot that has not been filmed. I mean, I haven't got to skateboard much in the past couple years, and actually I have not strapped a wakeboard on, but one time in the past 2 years. This will be the third season, so this season I'm actually going to ride again. So I've only ridden once in the past 2 years, and the first actual wakeboarding we're going to do is going to be at Cajun X. I believe we're going to be there on the 24th. I could be wrong, somewhere around there. I still have to, I got to close on this house Monday, and then Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm going to go pick up a Sprinter van and jam the build in as fast as I can. I'm going to take you guys along for that trip too, and let you see, I guess, the whole van build. But in a nutshell, so today I'm going to explain what Red Clay Playground is. It's actually what I named my house and backyard. I've been digging here for roughly 3 years. So these jumps that I'm about to show you, most of them were built by hand. If you're not in the trail building community, a lot of people just don't understand it. But those of us that like building jumps and riding dirt, we enjoy digging just as much as we do actually riding our bikes. So that being said, I'm going to show you guys my property, which it's pretty run down. We haven't rode this in nearly a year, and it looks like my lens is fogging on me. Maybe that'll clean it up. I don't know. Hopefully. So anyways, yeah, this is not what it looks like whenever it was running. I haven't touched it at all in, I know, over, well, nearly a year. We rode it some last year, but then it started raining here in the summer and it just never stopped. We just kept getting battered. And I was experimenting with some stuff that I've done here. There's a material that I build with called Geogrid. If you're a trail builder, check this stuff out. It is amazing. The reason why I love it so much is anytime you leave jumps untarped, they just completely get wrecked. Not only does the surface look like this, where you see rocks everywhere and stuff, but typically when you get a lot of rain on these jumps that we've stacked up so nice and pretty like this, whoa, slipping. Typically when you get a lot of rain, they just fall apart. The sides of them will fall off and everything else. Well, this material right here is the Geogrid. So what this stuff is made for, it's made for retaining walls. Whenever they're building stack block retaining walls, they'll dig into the bank that they're going to build the wall up against. You build the wall up so far, you backfill it, flatten it off, and then you lay this 6 foot wide mat across the top of the block and into the dirt. Well, then when you stack more block up on it and then put dirt on the back side of it, it keeps the wall from being able to blow out like you see a lot of retaining walls do where they fall. Well, I saw this material. Here's a piece of it laying over here so I can show you maybe a little bit better what it looks like. So it's got like little 1-inch squares, and it's some kind of composite material that won't rot in the ground. But the way that I use it in my dirt jumps is I'll take and I'll build up so high, flatten it off, pack it all in, get it all good and shaped, and then I'll lay a layer of this stuff over it. Well, then when you pile dirt on top of it, what it does is whenever it rains on this stuff, for this corner right here to be able to fall off, it would have to pull the dirt from over there too. So it's a really awesome product. All of this stuff out here has been completely untarped through some hellacious rain. I think we've got somewhere in the neighborhood of like, I don't know, 70 something inches of rain in the past year. It's a lot of rain for Northwest Georgia. We normally don't get that much. So this jump right here is one we call the Anthill.
Oh, hell for damn. Yeah. Whoa.
And this thing, we built it without Geogrid first. And after the first season, this thing just completely fell. I don't know if I've got pictures of that or not. If I do, I'll include them in this video. But it was really, really heartbreaking. The first time it rained out here, I ended up having tons of stuff fall. And I was trying to find a solution. Well, this is what I came up with. And this thing right here receives a lot of water on it. Never has fallen. Really, really cool material. So anyways, that's that. Let me climb up here up top and I'll pan around where you can see the whole yard. I've got, I think 31 or 32 jumps out here. I can't remember for sure. There's a lot of lines, a lot of options, but sadly, if you guys haven't rode it before, you're not going to get to, because the guy that's buying the house, he's leveling every bit of it. I know, it sucks, but it's what's going to provide the way for me to be able to do this adventure, so it's what I'm going to do. So anyways, I'm standing on the beginner start area. You roll in right here. There's a little roller, a berm that kicks you around that tree, and then a tall roller back in here, a roller that I call a turkey tail roller, tabletop, first big double or the Anthill line, second double, third one's a tabletop, and then you fly out at the end. So this is my house, or was my house. People laugh all the time. They're like, man, you've got jumps all around your whole entire park, or all around your whole entire house. Well, whew, God, I'm so out of shape. That's gonna change soon. But anyways, so a cool story with that. I was in middle school, and I was in my first relationship. You know, you're in middle school, you're not really in a good relationship. But anyways, the girl was a basketball player, and me being a dreamer that I am, I told her that whenever we get old and build a house, I'll put her a basketball court out somewhere and I'll surround the house with dirt jumps. Well, obviously we didn't stay together since we were so young, but I hung to my part of it. There's jumps everywhere here, and it's just completely overgrown. But so when you come out of this berm, here's your first split, and you've got three options here. This is the main line over the top of this roller. This right here is what we call crook. You have right crook and left crook. And then this area right here that's overgrown, where you can see this berm, is a fly out jump. It's a place for us just to learn tricks and practice stuff. You've got, and I'll put videos of everybody riding this as this is going, so hopefully you can kind of see it a little better. The more advanced drop in is this one over here. You roll into this pit, and we call this one the pit jump. It has two options out of it. You can run the regular line through, or Rob's line. You land in this really steep landing, and then you hit this tabletop from this side going over, go through that berm, double, and then we never did get the last one finished on it. Last jump syndrome is a thing. Talking about the way this stuff falls, for those of you who aren't into this or don't really know anything about it, these jumps right here did not get Geogrid. And you see how a large portion of it just kind of washed off and fell off. Same thing over here with Rob's line. This whole side fell off. This whole side fell off. You can actually see some fill in there that we used to save some digging. But yeah, so this is this is my backyard, or was my backyard. I'd like to say that one day I'm gonna do it again and build again, but I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna, I don't know how it's gonna go. Here's another one that fell pretty bad. This one's just about completely gone. So this is the ending of Crook. You go through there, through here, jump off the side of the quarter pipe, jump this double, and then it was gonna dump you into the woods, and I have a huge hip stacked back here, but unfortunately we never did get it running. And now that the jump itself was pretty much done, I never did actually get to ride it. Sucks. That's a whole lot of digging right here for what seems like nothing. So it was gonna go hip right here, and then another hip out, and then a little berm feature back down that way. But so something my dad told me that I need to include that I didn't even really think about whenever I was talking about me before. Whenever I was 18 years old, I got a wild hair, just kind of like I did here with this trip. Bought an RV, took off to Orlando with dreams of being a professional wakeboarder, and ended up getting a job in the business and getting to ride every day. And I quickly learned, I hate to shatter dreams for those of you who are young kids that are aspiring to be professional extreme sports athletes. There is no money in these sports. And when I say no money, there's no money. Some of the best wakeboarders in the world live in Orlando, and they don't make crap. I heard numbers of like $17,000 a year and stuff like that for them to get to wakeboarding. You know, as a kid, I was getting to see pictures of these guys in Ferraris and Lamborghinis and stuff like that in the magazines. Come to find out, most of those cars were rented cars for the ads. So kind of shattered my dreams there, but I did get to experience it. I got to live it. I had a blast, met a lot of great people. I'm hoping to meet up with a lot of those people on this trip. But really don't know what else to say. Oh, there's you can't even see it at all, it's so overgrown, but that light pole that's sitting down there in the middle of the yard, there's a pump track down there too. Maybe I'll have some footage of it. But anyway, yeah, this is what I've done for the past 3 years, is dig dirt jumps. Like I said, I'll just interrupt the video with clips. I say that, you guys are already seeing it now, but I'll post clips of this stuff as I'm talking. It's a labor of love. There's no other way to really put it. Now, most of this stuff is actually completely built by hand. Like, all of that is built by hand. This pond right here, we actually were going to make a swimming pool. That thing is 8 feet deep and completely hand dug. And if you see the ground level right there, we were already, I don't know, 5 feet, 6 feet below ground level when we started digging. And the dirt here in Georgia is mostly rock. It's rock and clay. So I said something in episode, I think 8 or 9, I can't remember which one it was, when we were at Jaren's Trails, which is James and Aaron, I'm going blank. The one where Michael Jordan is, where I was talking about I have the worst dirt that I've seen. Now that I've been to a lot of dirt jumping spots, I realize that it really is no joke. This dirt right here is just, it's horrible. It's just completely littered with rocks everywhere. So to dig in this dirt, you cannot stick a shovel in the ground and step on it. It will not do it. You'll bruise your foot before you ever even move a half a wheelbarrow of dirt. So every single bit of this has been built with a mattock. So I've got you sit there and swing a mattock, and get you some loose dirt up, shovel it up in a wheelbarrow, take it over to where you're going to dump it, and build away. Well, that being said, it's been a lot, and I mean a lot of hard work out here to build this stuff. That's why it's so bittersweet. But we had so many good times out here that it was well worth it. Well worth it. Washing some of the dirt off my mattock so you guys can see it now. This thing right here, See how long that little point is? I have literally, I can't hold it and the camera too. This point was probably about, I don't know, if you can see my thumb, probably about this much longer. I've worn that much of this thing off. Let me lay it on the ground here and maybe I can show you. So this point was about this long whenever I bought this thing. I have not broke it once. That is just completely wear from hitting rocks in this ground. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to ramble a whole lot and make this episode super long, but I'll put in, like I said, what clips I can, and I've got to get in here and pack the rest of my stuff up. There's not a whole lot left, but whenever you're talking about living in a van, it's hard to decide what you need, what you want to keep. You know, space is very limited, and I'm not really wanting to pay for a storage building, so I'm using a storage rack at my mother's house that's not very big, so I'm having to eliminate a whole lot of stuff, and that's a tough one. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get off here and go pack some stuff up, and I guess the next episode should be buying and building a van. I don't know, I may film the closing on the house, we'll see. Anyways, that's all for today. You guys have a good one.